Hi, everyone. Kat Linquist here. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. I see some people are starting to jump in. So I'm just going to get myself set up here. And I'm very excited that you're here. So um, if you're here on this live broadcast, just go ahead and pop in the chat and say hi and let me know where you're coming from. I'm always interested where I find my audiences. So you can put a city, a state, a country, and wherever you're coming from. Excellent. Hi. I may or may not be able to type in the chat based on my little setup right here. So thanks so much for being here. I'm going to give just maybe another 30 seconds or so that people can jump in. And thank you so much. I'm really, really glad that you're here. And where did I had something. Here we go. Awesome. So I just want to make sure you're in the right place. This is called Adoption Didn't Break You, a spiritual journey for adoptees. And this presentation is for you if you're searching for relief from the pain of adoption. You're an adoptee wanting to know the truth of who you really are, and you're open to creating a new paradigm for yourself through this discovery and embracing of yourself. Now, this presentation is unique and revolutionary. Awesome. Oh, okay, cool. Excellent. Sounds like we got it rolling along here. Great. So this presentation is unique and revolutionary, and it may contain views which contradict what you have been told by others about adoption and trauma. So if you're ready to step into becoming a powerful, conscious creator, excellent. Oh, we have someone from Oregon. Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. And moving beyond adoption, this is where you are meant to be. So if you're open-minded and curious about what I have to share, I welcome you on this journey tonight. So thank you so much for being here. And if you're watching this on the replay, that is just fine too. The replays of this workshop work just as well as the live presentation. So please follow through all the way with all of the prompts, all of the experiences, and you will receive the same amazing transformation as if you were watching it live. So I really want you to be present in this moment. So if you need to turn off cell phones or get into a quiet place, we're going to be here for about 90 minutes. So really make sure that you are in a place where you can really focus on yourself. This is a gift you're giving yourself right now. And take lots of notes. Have a notepad or some paper and a pen. You will be doing some writing later on as part of our exercise. Have a glass of water to keep hydrated. It's important during this to stay hydrated. And be sure to park your old learnings and be open to new ideas and concepts. Really play full out and engage in the chat as you can. And if you're not ready to engage publicly in the chat, that's fine. That's why you have pen and paper, so that you can write down things and play along on your paper. Take care of yourself as you need to, and I will do a Q&A at the end. So I'd like you to go ahead and set an intention for our time today to get the most out of this workshop so you can begin living as the powerful creator you were born to be. And I thank you so much for taking this time with me today. I know this is a big chunk of time, and I promise that you'll receive a lot from this workshop. This workshop and the programs and support that I offer is about how to shift into being a powerful creator rather than fixing or healing your trauma. You are not broken. I help you to align with the truth of who you really are. So think of me as like a spiritual chiropractor, helping to set your focus, energy, and identity into alignment. So I'm going to share 3 things with you today. First, I'm going to share a little bit about my journey to discover the truth of who I am. and a few foundational aspects of the Moving Beyond Adoption system I developed to help others discover the truth of who they really are and become powerful creators living a life you love with empowered confidence and deep inner peace. Next, you'll experience a revolutionary transformational process called the superconscious recode, which helps you release long-standing beliefs, feelings, and patterns of your adoption narrative and trauma, and instills new beliefs, feelings, patterns as a powerful creator to move you beyond adoption into your personal power. And I will share how you can continue this work if it feels right for you. So if you're ready to begin your journey to discover the truth of who you are, put I am in the chat. All right. Well, my name is Kat Linquist, and I identify as an adoptee and also a member of the LGBTQ community. And for the past 10 years, I have been supporting, coaching, mentoring, teaching, and speaking with people around the world in marginalized communities about living their best authentic life. I'm an award-winning speaker, and I have over 40 years experience as a professional in child and human development and early childhood education with a focus on 0 to 3 development. In early 2020, I was in a very special cohort of the first 10 people in the United States to be certified as a magnetic mind coach. And I've spent many years and thousands of dollars of my own personal development and education. And I believe everyone deserves to have a coach and a mentor to support them along their journey. I continue to have coaches and mentors in my life as well. Now, as an adoptee, I've asked this question for most of my life. Who am I, really? And it's a question I'm sure nearly every adoptee asks themselves. And yet, this is also a question many people ask in that existential realm as people search for deeper meaning of self and purpose of their lives. Yet for adoptees, there is a profound experience of not knowing who we are physically as well as spiritually. And because of our life circumstances of being relinquished and removed from our biological families, there is a feeling of brokenness that many adoptees feel. Just as we call a divorced family a broken family, adoptees feel broken because of this separation from their biological lineage. The physical, biological line has been broken. So type broken if this is something that you can relate to either in your past or that you're currently experiencing. So now in contrast to this, I believe that we are also spiritual beings having a human experience and that we come from source energy and share in this incredible journey we call life. This source connects us all together at the spiritual level, creating a oneness of spirit across billions of individual incarnations of this source. So put spirit in the chat if you believe some variation of this concept, that we come from a source energy, we come from infinite intelligence, that there's a part of us that is not human, but is really connected to the universe. Excellent, excellent. Now, I didn't always know that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I came to understand this is the essence of who I am about 10 years ago, at the beginning of my self-discovery journey, which, by the way, had no focus on my being adopted or finding my birth lineage or biological family. I had lived most of my life in toxic and abusive relationships, always feeling like I didn't fit in or that I wasn't accepted for being who I am. My life was, it's human and beyond. Exactly. I know. I love it. My life was spent pleasing people and shutting down my true nature and authenticity. I felt as though I was completely broken, like my life source was being drained away, eventually feeling completely numb and disconnected, as if I was the walking dead. And after a lifetime of battling toxicity, depression, and anxiety, and deep feelings of powerlessness about living in narcissistic and mental emotional abuse, at the age of 41, I had a stroke. And it was one of the most powerful experiences of my life, and the only thing which really woke me up to the reality that I was living in. Until the stroke, I just lived in a deep fog of acceptance about my life circumstances, never feeling I could change them. Now, this wake up call is what I needed to end a 25-year highly toxic and abusive marriage, and to save myself from living the rest of my life in a living hell, and to challenge beliefs. Oh, I have a comment here. It says spinning ball, maybe. Oh, I'm not sure. Things look good on my end right here. So hopefully things are good on your end. So I began to challenge the beliefs I had about love, relationships, sexuality, money, and success. I discovered the truths about myself and how I view these various aspects of life, and began to live a level of authenticity I had only dreamed about. And yet, I was still coming from this premise, which had been a foundation of my toxic and abusive relationships, was that I was broken and I needed to fix myself. And this kept me focused on the pain I was trying to move away from. Now, put a yes in the chat if you've been feeling this way, or if you felt this way in the past, that there's something broken about you or something that needs to be fixed before you can feel peace, love, and wholeness. Because that's how I felt. I felt like I couldn't have those things. I couldn't have peace. I couldn't have love, couldn't have wholeness, because I was broken and something needed to be fixed. Well, after several years of engaging in all these different modalities and activities, trying to fix myself, I was able to make some changes in my life about how I express love and relationships and in my sexuality. And I also found a drive to become an entrepreneur and use my teaching talents to help others become the best version of themselves. And yet, I could never quite make things move far enough the way I wanted them to. And I would sabotage myself back into the safe and familiar patterns of work, relationships, and even my self-doubt. And it was only when I found the Magnetic Mind program in December of 2019 that everything began to really change for me. I learned I wasn't broken, and that I am truly a spiritual being having a human experience. I was able to transform my adoption trauma into my personal power and embrace the powerful creator I was born to be. Now, during one transformational session, I was able to release one of the biggest factors holding me back from finding my biological family. I felt I was a mistake and I should never have been born. And I didn't even know I was carrying this around until it surfaced during this particular transformational experience. I wasn't even focused on it. It just came up in that experience. And during this session, my coach utilized specific transformational processes which allowed me to release this pain that I had carried for my entire life. And what was so interesting was I was on a call with about 100 different people from all over the world. And we were having this amazing transformational experience. And through this experience, my coach cannot see us or hear us. And I was having an absolute breakdown. I was bawling and crying so much. Everything was being released. And in the middle of this superconscious recode that he was doing for us, he stopped in the middle of it because he felt my energy. And he said, Kat, this is just for you. I'm going to do a process just for you in the middle of all of this. And he took me back to before I was born. And he said, you chose to come. Do you see this? You were making a choice. You're choosing to come into this lifetime. And you said it was going to be fun and you were going to enjoy it. and you needed a reminder that life is good, and you need to just come forward and bring this knowledge with you because you've forgotten it. And as I came back into my body with this new knowledge, all of the tears dried up, everything became clear, and the weight lifted. And I felt like for the first time I could actually breathe. And it was absolutely amazing. And that feeling that I didn't even know I had carried for my whole life, 50 years of my life, that I was a mistake and I should never have been born, was gone. And it's still gone to this day, nearly 40 years later. And 3 months after that, I decided I was ready to begin the journey of finding my biological family. And within a very short time, I was able to find them and make a really positive connection. And 4 years later, here we are still building and connecting into a positive relationship. Now, this transformational experience was so profound and powerful in making these shifts and changes in my life. Over time, I began to feel that it was my purpose to bring this work out into the world and share it with other adoptees who have struggled so much with the pain of feeling broken, rejected, and abandoned. Each of you has a purpose and a reason to have experienced life the way you have. And it's time for you to release the pain and embrace the wisdom and purpose from these experiences to create the best life for yourself and those you love. Now, when I began working through the Magnetic Mind program, I learned how to frame my desires in a specific way. And the words that we use are very, very powerful. So we make true choices. And some of my true choices included: I choose to be a powerful creator. I choose to be the best version of myself. I choose to feel whole and complete. I choose to accept myself as I am. Now, you'll notice in this language that I'm not focused on my pain or even moving away from my pain. I am moving towards my desires and my choices. You see, my identity didn't believe that I was good enough or worthy enough of being a powerful creator, of making my own decisions and forging my own life path. I believed I was someone who couldn't handle the responsibility of making my own business and having the structure and discipline to follow through. I had been taught throughout my life that I was supposed to follow other people's paths for me, to do what I was told was good for me, to be the person others wanted me to be, and in essence, to think, feel, and do what someone else tells me in order to belong to the family. Now, as adoptees, many of us struggle to live an authentic life of our own design because we feel broken and we don't know the truth of who we are authentically. We don't know the authentic self because we don't know who we are. If this is something that you can relate to, go ahead and put relate in the chat. Yeah. Wow. So now if you have your pen and paper, I want you to write this down. When I started in the Magnetic Mind program and I was describing how I have these desires and choices, my identity was in conflict with my desires and choices. My identity didn't want me to be a powerful creator, didn't believe I deserved to be a powerful creator. My choices were not part of my identity. So I'm going to draw a little bit here to show you what this looks like. So I'm going to do this here, see if I can handle all these different pieces. I'm going to put this down over here. Okay. All right, so here we go. So we start over on this side and we have what's called a desired reality. Yeah. Oh, I have a comment here. It says, I was in my late 50s. I felt my birth and asked spirit why I was born. Spirit told me I was born to speak for the grandmothers who no longer had voices to speak. Wow, that's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And so, through your experience of life of coming here, you have a purpose. You have a very clear purpose. And I think as adoptees, a lot of us, we get so mired in our pain and our brokenness that we can't see what our life purpose is. I see that a lot in the Facebook groups and in different groups that I'm a part of. I see a lot of the pain. I see a lot of the brokenness. And I see how it really stops people from being able to live their best life, to fulfill the purpose of being here on planet Earth. We didn't come to planet Earth to suffer. We came to planet Earth to be joyful and to live and to expand the human experience, but also the spiritual experience, the infinite intelligence, the grand scheme of it all, that we are here to expand that. And when people experience a lot of pain, they can't move into their purpose. So that's why I'm here. And I'm hoping that if you're watching this live or you're on the replay, that this is going to make a lot of sense for you. So here, over here, we have that desired reality. And in that desired reality, I wanted to be a powerful creator. And I wanted to be the best version of myself. And I'm sorry, on my screen it's backwards, but hopefully on yours it's not. I wanted to be whole and complete. And I wanted to accept myself as I am. Now, my identity, this is my current reality. This is where I was at the time when I started all of this work. Oh, someone else says here, at 28, a voice told me I only had two choices, to be happy or sad, and I chose to be happy. That's amazing. Sometimes our spirit guides really speak to us, and others have a harder time hearing their spirit guides as well. So hopefully through this work, I can help people really connect to that superconscious, their spirit guides, and all that's out there for them. So here in this current reality, when I was starting this work, and this is what I wanted to be, I was a mistake. And I can't think for myself. And I was people pleasing. And in reality, the identity down here was that I was broken and I didn't belong anywhere. Now, we have these two sides here, and forgive my very crude stick drawing here, but here you are. You're here in the middle, and you have this identity over here that says this is who you are. This is who you are. And this is where you are right now. But you want to go over this way, and you want to be here. And a lot of times the reason that we create something over here is because we think that by having this, we're going to resolve this. So if this is a problem, and this is the solution, then we want to get to the solution so that we can resolve this identity down here that says I'm broken and I don't belong. We're trying to resolve this. And we're trying to say I'm not broken and I belong somewhere. As an adoptee, I want to know the truth of who I am, right? I want to know authentically who I am, where I belong, and I want to stop feeling broken. But this is a structure that we have. So as you start to move in this direction, you're also pulling your identity this direction as well. And as you move and pull your identity, it starts to create tension. And in this tension, because it is not resolvable, you're going to swing back and you're going to come back. It's going to become this pattern. You go forward and back, forward and back. It's called oscillation. Because this is what is familiar. This is what feels safe. This is what you know. This is what you believe you are. And you are not these things. So if you become these things, this identity believes it's going to die. And it's not going to allow you to become this because it doesn't want to die. So I want to go a little bit deeper. Are there any questions on this, by the way? Just the specific structure from the current reality. This is where you are. This maybe is where you've been in the past. This is what you choose to be. And if you see this as a problem, you see that this current reality is a problem and that this desired reality is a solution, then you're going to want to create your solution in order to resolve these painful things in your identity. But it will never work. It's a flawed premise. It's a flawed cycle because we cannot get here from here without addressing the identity. So let me show you how this works. So we have 3 levels of consciousness. And at the very top, we have what's called the superconscious. The superconscious is that spirit part of us. It is that innate intelligence, the all, the spirit, the soul, the creative source. This is source energy. This is the part of us that we also call intuition. It's that little voice, that feeling, that gut feeling, that little voice in your head that says, oh, do this, don't do this. And, we sometimes call that our conscience, but really it's our superconscious. This is the part of us that lives in pure love. And there is no emotion or judgment at this level. So the superconscious only wants an experience. It only wants to know that as a human being, we are having an experience. So it looks at our painful experiences and it says, that's interesting. Look, you broke your leg. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it looks to you like you ended your relationship and that hurts. That's interesting. Oh, you just won $1 million. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you are now in love. Oh, that's interesting. It has no emotion or judgment. It just is. And this is who we are in that energetic realm. And we forget that this is where we came from. Now, the next level is called the unconscious. Sometimes people call it the subconscious. The unconscious starts in our last part of being in utero, and it continues on through our life. And in this level, the unconscious seeks balance and harmony. It also, so we have balance and harmony. And it's also the language of emotion. So this is where all of these lie. And this also runs all of our body systems. Literally, our unconscious runs everything in our bodies, our heartbeat, our breathing, our digestion, all the endocrine system, every system that you can think of in your body runs through the unconscious. We don't ever think about our body running the parts of our bodies running that just run automatically. This is also the part of the brain where we can teach it to do things, and it takes on the automatic instructions so that you can do other things. So for instance, driving a car, when you've learned to drive a car and you do it over and over and over again, you take the same route over and over and over again, it will automatically do that. So you can start singing along to your favorite song or listening to your friend's conversation. And then all of a sudden you're pulling in your driveway and you're like, hey, I missed the last 3 turns. How did that happen? Unconscious. This is the part that wants to keep you safe and alive. And anything that has not mortally killed you, it will keep you, it will seek out and say, well, I survived that. So I know what that's like, and I can survive that again. So a lot of people who have early abuse or early traumas, we tend to replay those traumas and that experience over and over and over again in our life, because the unconscious says, oh, I survived that. And remember, the super conscious at that point, it just wants an experience. It doesn't know how to discern what's happening. Now, the last part down here is called the self-conscious. Self-conscious. We also call this the ego. And it wants a good life. It wants all of the things that are good in life. And it lives in polarity. So it lives in black and white, good and bad, hot and cold, front and back. Everything is a duality. So it seeks out the good life and it wants to avoid the bad life. So within this structure, if we, and I'm sorry, so the self-conscious and the ego starts around the age of 4 to 5, and it's usually solidified between 7 and 10. So between the ages of 7 and 10, this is where your personality, your ego has really been pretty well solidified. So when you're looking at early childhood education, early childhood development from 0 to 7, our unconscious and our self-conscious is pretty well developed and has experienced a whole range and host of experiences, circumstances, traumas. And remember, a trauma to a 2-year-old could be mom and dad had an argument and dad left the room. The baby only knows argument, dad gone. Trauma. Argument, somebody left. That's all it sees, and it codes that up. So then when you're an adult and you get into an argument, you have this big fear that your partner's going to leave. Oh, that goes back to that experience you had at 2 years old where that was a trauma. So we have these experiences, and as adoptees, this is where a lot of our, or in this period, our adoption traumas really became solidified in that 0 to 8 age range. So here, what we do is we help to transition different elements into something else. So I'm going to give an analogy about this so that it helps you to kind of understand. So down here at the ego state, we could see this as ice. So if we're using water as the analogy, ice, this is very solidified. It's very solid. It's what it is. It lives in that black and white. It wants the good life. It's the ego. Now, the unconscious emotions is water. Same elements, different form. So we have water and ice. Now up here at the superconscious level, we have vapor, like clouds. Same elements, different form. So in order for us to do transformation, if we try to work at the ego state, it's ice. It doesn't want to change. It wants the good life. This is what it's focused on. here at the unconscious, it has some malleability, but it needs the proper instructions. So until we can give this the proper instructions, it's going to keep doing what it's doing. So water wants to take the path of least resistance. So the unconscious is always going to take the path of least resistance, whatever that is. Now, this is why the work that we do at Moving Beyond Adoption is at the superconscious level, because it has no emotion, it has no judgment, and we're able to give new instructions at this level. We remove any pain that we're feeling here. The superconscious can come here and remove the pain, and then it can give the new instructions, which then come down here. So it looks like this. So remember, unconscious wants balance. So if this is our center point right here, and if we were to kind of draw some lines here, we have a pendulum that swings. And again, we have the good and the bad, right? This is the pendulum here and the good and the bad. Now, the unconscious will set what I call a set point for how much good and how much bad we can experience, depending on this set point. Because it will only allow so much good because of what it believes that you deserve. And it will say, well, I can only handle so much bad because I can't go too deep. I don't want to go into those really painful emotions. So it has a range. This is what we call the comfort zone. So in this comfort zone, this is where most people live their life. In this pendulum swing, they get a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. You know, we always say we take the good with the bad, and this is our life. However, if this set point is something that you would like to change so that you can experience more good things in life and less painful bad things in life, then we need to come up here to the superconscious to change that set point and tell the unconscious how to change that. So we go up here, we do what's called the superconscious recode. We give very specific language and instructions to the superconscious. It filters down into the unconscious, and this set point will then move over here. So now our set points here and our comfort zone is extended. This is called expansion. And this is part of what we are designed for, and that we're here on life on planet Earth for. So I am very, very excited about this, and I love teaching this stuff. Now, I know this gets a little technical, and that's okay, because the things to remember are the 3 levels of consciousness: superconscious, unconscious, self-conscious, and that the work that we do is at the superconscious level. So we can bypass a lot of the work down here by giving the proper instructions up here. And a lot of other methodologies and processes try to work only at the unconscious or the self-conscious levels. And those can be effective. They take a lot more time and a lot more energy and a lot of, I'll just say a lot more time. In my own personal experience, I've spent a lot of time in other modalities that worked here that were not nearly as effective, and they took a long time to get a small amount of results. So if at this point, once we create that new set point, it doesn't necessarily mean that the trauma that you've experienced disappears, because what's already happened has already happened, and it is, and it's there. What the superconscious allows us to do is to remove the pain that's associated with those experiences. So at this point, we want to remove the pain, and we allow those experiences to then turn into wisdom. And that wisdom helps us shape the new paradigm and those choices moving forward. So when you look at this diagram and the one before, what I really want you to get out of this is that this is all a structure. This is a structure of how you have been designed from your life experiences. And when we're young, when we're in this unconscious state and the beginnings of our self-conscious state, we're so young, we don't have the tools, the experience, the life experience, and most of us don't have the mentors in our lives to teach us anything different. And so we become trained and ingrained in this system, in this structure, which sets us up for a life of feeling pain as adoptees. And I can go into a whole host of the language that is used in that, but I think a lot of you, if you're here and you're looking for something different, you already know what a lot of that language is. So we have been conditioned in a particular way to think about our adoption in a particular way, to feel about our adoption in a particular way. And our life experience when we're very, very young, it does the best it can to make sense of very painful experiences and trauma. And yeah, oh, thank you. And sometime, and what happens is when we're this young and we create these patterns, as we grow older, we just bring those patterns along year after year after year, but the patterns never change. And the patterns become our ingrained instructional manual of how we interact with ourselves and the world and other people in it. So when you think about this, everything that you are experiencing now, unless you've done a lot of the personal work, has been solidified by the time you were 7. And you didn't really have the ability to think and choose for yourself what structures you wanted to put in place. So now you're an adult, and now you have the ability to choose the structures that are going to benefit you and help you create the life you most desire by letting go of that pain and taking the wisdom of the experience. So if you're ready to make a new choice, you're ready to create and choose your own structures to utilize this pattern, this system, this foundational system, and move it forward, moving beyond adoption, put I am in the chat. So I'm super excited about this. We're getting really close to our experience here. I'm so excited for this. Just got to do a check on my time here. Oh, yep, we're doing fine. Excellent. All right. Okay, so before we move into our transformational experience, I want to just very briefly go through the Moving Beyond Adoption 3-step system. And it's the system itself is very simple, and yet there's a lot of parts within each of the steps. But I'm not going to go through all of it tonight. I'm just going to give you a brief, very brief overview of the Moving Beyond Adoption system. So MBA is Moving Beyond Adoption and our 3-step system. And step 1 is reframe your mind. Step 1 is reframe your mind. Now, in reframe your mind, number 1, reframe your mind helps you to create the foundational structures, including how to make true choices, align your values, and decide your intentional outcomes, and utilize specific tools to help you stay focused as you begin your journey. So the focus is on designing your life and how you want to live it. There's a lot that goes into reframe your mind, but really I've already started that process for you where you're starting to think about your adoption differently. You're starting to think about how your life has been structured differently. and that you now have the ability to make different choices. Step 2. Number 2 is transform your heart. Your heart. Transform your heart. This is where we work on shifting that superconscious part of you to create alignment and connection and satisfaction with your true choices, values, and outcomes. And we use a variety of transformational techniques to help you let go of the old structures and install the new instructions for the unconscious. Think about it like you're upgrading your operating system for your computer. Every couple years, it's best to download and integrate the new operating system. It is updated and upgraded, and there's new features, and it allows you to do so much more. And this is what we're doing here, is in transforming our heart. We start at the heart level and we move out into the body and the world, so that as you expand from within, you are then able to share yourself going outward. But it starts internally. We do the work internally. We transform inside to then share outside. And step number 3 is liberate your soul. So we liberate our soul when you have embodied and integrated the new instructions, the foundation and the new instructions, and this is becoming your new autopilot set point. Remember, we talked about moving that set point forward. So just as when you learn to drive, when you start taking a new route to a new job, it takes you a little while for that to become your automated place to go. The brain will learn it and learn it quite quickly as you go through, because it understands how to drive. It understands the path that you're taking, and it creates new neural pathways in your brain so that you know what this is and you don't have to think about it anymore. And this is what liberate your soul is. When you've gotten to the place where you have your new foundation, your new values, your new outcomes for your life, we do the internal transformation to release the pain. And now you take action and you live life from this new place. These 3 steps are integrated into a year-long Moving Beyond Adoption masterclass, as well as the courses and individual coaching that I offer through Beyond Adoption, which allows you to transform your adoption trauma into personal power, so you can become the powerful self. And self, you've heard me say that several times. Self is an acronym that I've created as super conscious, easy, liberated, and fun. And this is who you were born to be. So after our transformational experience tonight, I'm going to share just a few details about how you can continue to work with Moving Beyond Adoption and live with empowered confidence and a deep inner peace, knowing the truth of who you really are. So I just want to do a quick check-in. How are you doing? Have you learned something new? Do you have an aha? If you'd like to share that in the chat, please feel free to do so. I'm going to get set up here, get some water. Excellent. Great. Thank you. So I'm really excited. This next part that we're going to go into. Turn the page here. Get us ready. This is our super conscious recode. And it's called a superconscious recode process because we are actually recoding neural pathways in your brain to release that pain that you've been holding on to release the patterns that have been created way back. Remember when we talked back here? Let me see if I can move this forward. We talked back here about these patterns in the unconscious and the self-conscious. And also, right here, here's you. Remember, this is our problem experience. So here, we have this structure that doesn't work anymore. So we're going to create a new structure. We have to recode the brain, and we have to create new neural pathways in order for us to restructure the patterns that you've been experiencing and living from since you were 7 years old. So if you'd like to type in the chat, you're welcome to. If you'd like to write down on your piece of paper, I encourage that as well. We're going to be a little bit more interactive right now. And I'm going to go along with you so that you can really experience and see kind of how this process goes. So I thank you for making it this far. And now we're really into the crux of what we're here for, which is the superconscious recode and the transformation. So we're going to use a similar structure where we have a desired outcome or a desired reality. We have something that we want to create in our lives. And then in order for us to be able to do that, we do have to set up that tension. We do look at where we are. However, we look at where we are not as a problem, but just as a set point to say, this is where I am. This is where I choose to be. We set up this tension, which we are going to resolve, but we're going to be able to resolve that by going into the superconscious recode, where we can address the identity in a safe and consensual manner and a very gentle manner, so that the identity can make the shifts that it needs to in order to move you forward. So we have here at Moving Beyond Adoption 4 core orientations. And those are: I choose to live a life I love. I choose health and vitality. I choose to be my true nature and purpose. And I choose to be the predominant creative force in my life. And it's this last one that we're going to focus on today for the superconscious recode. So over here, we are going to be the predominant or powerful creator. This is where what we want to create. And when we make a choice, we create it just because we want to, just because I would love to be a powerful creator, not because I'm trying to fix this over here, not because I think I'm trying to get away from something. I want to be a powerful creator because that's what I was born to be, for no other reason. It's just because I love it, because I want it, just because. Yeah, it's a constant process, no matter how old or conscious we are. There's always more awareness and pattern release and recreate. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yes, it is. It's an ongoing life going process that we will always be doing this work. And the wonderful thing is, once you truly get into this kind of work, it becomes your life pattern. And I've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and it has truly changed my life in so many ways. I can't even describe how I feel so different than I used to be. So at this point, we're going to focus on being a powerful creator. And so the first thing I want us to do is we're going to really focus in on this. And I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes. And I'm going to do this with you. And we're going to go into what it feels like to be a powerful creator. And if it feels like there's a little bit of a struggle, then just imagine that you can imagine what it feels like. Use your imagination, what it feels like to be a powerful creator. Allow your body to open up if you need to, kind of pull your shoulders back and open up your chest. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And focus on the words, I am a powerful creator. I am a powerful creator. I am a powerful creator. Take that statement and imagine it as a bright ball of light. This creative force is a bright ball of light. And I'd like you to take that ball of light and I'd like you to place it inside your heart. Feel the warmth of its glow. It's a golden light. Feel a slight heat. It feels so good. It's just this beautiful warm glow right in the center of your chest. Keep breathing and imagine that you are this powerful creative force, that it is you. You are it. Now open your eyes and come back. It felt really good, didn't it? Yeah, felt so good. And put a smile on your face. Like really put a smile on your face when you feel like I am a powerful creator. I am a powerful creator. Yeah, beautiful. So now, in comparison to that, what is your current state? So if this is our desired reality, where are you right now? So someone might say, well, I'm feeling broken. I'm feeling depressed. What's it like? I'm a powerful creator, but in comparison to that, how do you see yourself not being a powerful creator? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy. Not worthy. Maybe I'm not smart enough. There's a lot of different things that we could be feeling. So when we look at these two ends of the creation, we now have a tension that needs to be resolved. And there's our identity down here that's saying, yep, that's who I am. That's exactly who I am. I'm all these things because that's what I believe. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of explore some of the resistance from that identity. So what would someone have to believe in order to have this experience right now? What would you have to believe in order to think that you're broken? You'd have to think that you're wrong, that you're maybe bad. You believe that you were hurt, that you were rejected. I'm depressed because of these things. I'm not good enough. What would someone have to believe about themselves to say, well, I'm not good enough? I wasn't wanted. Again, kind of coming back to that rejection or the abandonment. Now, what do you believe about others, other people, about this experience? What do you believe about other people? Maybe other people have it better than you. Other people can have these things, can be a powerful creator, but not me. That's not for me. That's for someone else. Maybe you believe that other people deserve it more. Maybe, people who were not adopted, they can be a powerful creator, but adoptees, we're not allowed to have that because of all of these things. What judgments do you have about being a powerful creator? It's too hard. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe you feel it's going to take too much time to fix yourself. Yeah, you have to fix yourself. Fix self. That's a big one, right? That's a big judgment. That's a big belief that we have to fix ourselves in order to be a powerful creator. And that's just not true. Not skilled enough. Yeah. Feeling not competent. Yeah, exactly. So finish this statement. I really want to be a predominant creative force. I want to be a powerful creator, but what comes after the but? What comes after the but? All of these things, all of this, some of this, other things. So now, either on your piece of paper or in your mind, because if you've been typing in the chat, I want you to kind of put like a big circle around all this stuff right here. Imagine it's in a big bubble. And I'd like you to give yourself a rating. A rating of 10 is I am facing upstream. The water's rushing almost to the top of my head, and I can't move anywhere. I can't go anywhere. I'm absolutely stuck. There's nothing I can do. The current is so strong and I can't move. 0 is I'm flowing downstream. Everything is good. It's just so peaceful and relaxed. I don't have to work at anything. I'm just in the flow. A 5 is somewhere around, well, I'm about waist deep in the water. I can make some movements, but it's hard, it's slow. So in there, kind of, what is your rating? This is just a personal rating for you, so that before we do the process, you can see where your resistance level is to all of this. Someone says the tension is fear comes up when I say I'm a powerful creator. Yeah, right. So on that scale of 1 to 10, give yourself a personal rating of how much resistance you feel to being a powerful creator. And this is just your rating. It has nothing to do with anyone else. After the process, we're going to do the rating again to see where you have shifted in the process. So go ahead. You don't have to type it in. You can just give yourself a personal rating so that you can see how this is done. So now that we have set this up, we have our tension, we've brought some resistance into the active experience, and we're going to begin the transformation process. So this will take about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and just go ahead and be in a comfortable place. You want to be in a comfortable position. This is a closed eye experience, so that you can really focus inward. And I just want you to listen to my words. There's nothing that you need to do. There is no hypnosis. There is no trance. You are fully awake and aware of everything that's going on. And I can only do this with your permission. So if you choose not to participate in the experience, that's absolutely fine. I cannot do any of the processes for you unless you give me permission. So without your permission, you will not be participating in the transformational experience. And that's one of the things I love about the superconscious recode is it is a truly consensual process. So just by watching the experience and not participating in it, you will not receive the transformation, but you can observe and see how it's done. And then if you'd like, you can go back and watch the replay, and you can do it on the replay. You can give permission for me to connect to your superconscious, and then you will receive the transformational experience. Yes, it works just as well on the replay. I do replays all the time from my personal coach, and they are absolutely amazing. So if you want to just observe this time and then you can go back and do it again and give permission, then that's fine too. So if you would like to participate, I'd like you to sit back, relax, close your eyes. I will close my eyes as well for this process. And just give me, say, in your heart, in your mind, I give Kat Linquist permission to connect to my superconscious to create more satisfaction and less pain. And I speak to the superconscious as if it's a person, so you'll hear me address the superconscious. And I'm going to give the superconscious a metaphor so it understands how the treatment process works. Superconscious, I'd like for you to imagine a football field. And on this playing field, I'd like you to see the person, each person that we're working with today on one end of the field and their desired result of being a powerful creator on the other end of the playing field. And as they are standing looking across the playing field at their choice to be a powerful creator, I'd like you to notice all these little gopher holes that are popping up. These little gophers are creating all these mounds of dirt all across the playing field, and they're popping up in a particular order, in a particular sequence. Superconscious, do you see the sequence of all this resistance that's coming into the active playing field? Yes. Superconscious, what we would like to do is to ask all the gophers to please remove themselves from the field. And we're going to take a feather and we're going to very gently brush all that dirt in the proper sequence back into the holes so that we smooth out that playing field. And it's very easy for the person to move across the playing field and into becoming a powerful creator. Superconscious, do you understand this metaphor? Yes. Superconscious, I'd like you to see this big bubble of resistance that was brought up for each individual. I'd like you to please treat and do a massive change history, and everything is needed to remove the pain that is associated with these experiences. Thank you. And please remember to breathe. And just notice what you notice. Notice if there are parts of your body that feel different. Notice if there's feelings, if there's images, if there's thoughts that come into your mind. Just notice them and allow them to be what they are without focusing too much on them. Just notice them and let them be. Superconscious, please treat all emotions connected to the idea of being a powerful creator. Treat specifically fear, uncertainty, anxiety, a feeling of imposter syndrome, a feeling of not good enough. Superconscious, please treat each of these aspects in the perfect order, in the perfect way, and do a full superconscious recode on each one to bring that down to 0 so they are neutralized and they are no longer a part of the active experience. There's a lot moving with that particular one, so just breathe. And again, notice what you notice. Superconscious, please treat all DNA lines. Please go back to the original event and all events that have stemmed from that original event that are blocking the ability to become a powerful creator. Go all the way back as far as you need to in the DNA lines, both mother and father. Whether you know your DNA line or not doesn't matter. Superconscious, please treat the original event and allow the ancestor who holds that original event to hold that trauma in their lifetime without passing it down. Superconscious, please treat each subsequent generation that comes through that has contributed all the way down to this individual who is here today. And at each level, each generation, whatever traumas have contributed to the sphere of being a powerful creator, that each ancestor is holding their own pain at their level and not passing it down through the DNA lines. Superconscious, can you please ask all the ancestors to hold their traumas and not pass them down? Thank you. Superconscious, please treat secondary intentions, broken promises. Please treat the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Flatten back. Please open the third eye and allow for intuition to be strong, to be connected into this individual. Please treat and do a massive change history, and everything is needed to treat the chakras, the third eye, and all these different aspects to remove the pain, release the pain. Superconscious, do you see some parts that have come into the active experience that are holding back? Superconscious, can you please share the benefits of treatment with these parts that have come into the active experience now? Do they understand the treatment process? Are they willing to be treated today? Superconscious, please invite these parts into the treatment process and allow them to fully participate in the superconscious recode to be treated, to release all pain that is able to be released today, safely, gently, and as completely as possible. Just continue to breathe. Superconscious, please ground all the memories we have touched today, including memories 1, 2, and 3, tandem memories, shadow memories, quantum experiences, past, present, and future, in this lifetime, any other lifeline, DNA lines, and all aspects connected through into this person. Please bind and reconnect all areas back into the matrix of the universe. And please reinforce the concept of being a powerful creator with trust, with love, with confidence, with fun and joy. And superconscious, please continue to provide treatment as needed until all aspects have been treated to their fullest extent. Take a deep breath or two, and when you're ready, come on back. That was beautiful. That was really, really beautiful. Now, the superconscious will continue to process this over the next few days. So as you begin to feel different, as you start to tune in to your body and how your body feels after this experience, start to be aware of shifts in your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And now, in order for us to really make sure that the superconscious recode comes full circle, is I'd like you to choose an action. An action is something that you can do or something that you will be that you couldn't do before the recode. Yeah, beautiful. And as you're coming back, if you've put in your number, just kind of go into yourself now and feel into what is your resistance number now. And if you'd like to share that, that would be wonderful. So sometimes we know what the next step is in our experience. What is it that we need to do to move ourselves forward into becoming a powerful creator? Sometimes we don't know what that next step is. So what you may find is that your next step is to determine what is your next step. Sometimes it might be doing some more self-care. Sometimes it might be doing some research, talking with someone, or going and doing something that will demonstrate that you are now a powerful creator. And perhaps that may be joining one of my programs so that you can continue this work. So I would love to just take a few minutes to share a little bit about Moving Adoption, the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass. It's a 12-month journey that provides you with the information, tools, the transformation, and the support that you need to truly move yourself beyond adoption and to create a new narrative from what you currently have, so that the narrative that you have now is no longer the predominant driving force in your life. And when you choose to become a powerful creator, you determine the course of your life. You determine the pathway. You determine your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And you are no longer bound by the traumas over which you had no choice or control over. In the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass, you will receive 2 one-hour sessions a week. One is focused on the transformation, such as the superconscious recode that we just did. And the other is a group coaching session to help you stay focused on being the predominant creative force in your life. Now, these sessions are recorded and they will be accessible through your online Moving Beyond Adoption University. Plus, you'll get a downloadable workbook to help you stay focused on your true choices and your actions. We'll also have a deep dive session every month where we explore a different process and share in peer group sessions to help you connect with your MBA community, and that will also be recorded. And you'll receive special offers and discounts to additional programs as Moving Beyond Adoption grows. Oh, you're so welcome. Someone said thank you for the experience. You're very, very welcome. And if you'd like to put in your rating now, how you're feeling now in your resistance, what your resistance level number is, I'd love to know. Oh, it went up. Oh, that's interesting. Sometimes that can happen. I've had that happen before where a recode actually brings up more resistance for us to look at, and the parts are not quite ready to be treated yet. But that's one of the things that I love about this work is that the more that you do it, the more your body and your brain and your superconscious understand the treatment process and how it works, and it starts to move you in that direction of going down the scale. So we want to move down from 10 down towards 0. So in the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass, so just as I was sharing that we get the 2 1-hour sessions, we get, we get the downloadable workbook, and we also do a deep dive once a month. And yeah, confidence making. Yeah, there you go. Confidence making launch video. Yeah, exactly. There you go. And as a bonus, I am going to gift you my course, A Transformational Guide to Biological Discovery, Closing the Gaps of the Unknown. This is it's an 8-week or 12, I think it's a 12-week course. It's a 3-month course. And I am going to be doing it live simultaneously while we're doing the masterclass. So you'll also get that as a bonus if that's something that you'd like to join. And that's going to be recorded so that as people come into the program later, they'll receive it as a bonus recorded session. And if you sign up before January 31st, 2024, I will offer a lifetime access to ongoing masterclass sessions after your paid year. So when you go, if you sign up as, one of the big bonuses of coming on as an early adopter, that if you come in as one of our, inaugural people, our clients, then you will get to have a lifetime of coming to the live masterclasses after your paid year. So I'm very excited about offering this for my inaugural clients coming in. This is a new program, so if you haven't heard of it before, it's because it's brand new. So I'm very excited, very, very excited. Now, this program is worth over $5,000, but rest assured that is not what you will be paying. And I'm not even making a full offer today. I'm just letting you know what things are so that you can begin to think about it. This inaugural launch for the Moving Beyond Adoption Masterclass is $17.95 for the 12-month program. And that's a pay-in-one. So if you pay in one, that's less than $150 a month, where you're getting 8 sessions plus a deep dive plus the course. So in essence, you're getting 12 sessions a month plus the deep dive plus the workbook and the lifetime access for less than $150 a month. And if you choose to do it monthly, it's just $170 a month. So at this point, yeah, maybe I have resistant numbers backwards. That's okay. Sometimes that happens as well. So just, again, as kind of a quick rundown, it's the 60-minute transformation session, the 60-minute coaching session, the downloadable workbook, the monthly 3-hour deep dive session, lifetime access to recordings, plus the course, A Transformational Guide to Biological Discovery, and the lifetime access to ongoing live masterclass sessions. So I also offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. And in order for us to be able to make sure that this is a good match, I'm offering a free 45-minute session with me called Explore Yourself. And here I get to speak one-on-one with you and make sure that this really is the right place for you, because I want to make sure that we are a good match, we are a good fit, that you're really, really on board with this. And if this isn't the right fit for you, then I would love to potentially help you find where you're going to have the best fit. because at this point, it really is about making sure that you get the resources and the support that you need. So at this point, I would love to, here, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is a link where you can book this free session with me. There's no obligation. And I'm going to put this right here in the chat. All right, there we go. So your resistance went down. Excellent. Down. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. I love that. Love seeing that resistance go down. And sometimes it goes down a lot. Sometimes people will go from 8 to 0 or 7 to 0. Sometimes you'll go from 8 to 6 or 8 to 5. And it will just depend on what needs to be let go and what is ready to be let go. Sometimes we're chipping away at some really big boulders and we can't quite get through all at once. So I personally have had some revelations where things really just let go all at once, like my transformation of I was a mistake and I should never have been born. That really was like a 10 to a 0, and it just completely went away. And I've had others where I've had very little movement and I kept working at it and kept coming back to the sessions, and eventually it was let go. And it sometimes just takes a little bit of time. But honestly, this work is much faster, much easier, much more pleasant, much more fun than any transformational work I've ever done. And I've done a lot of different modalities. And so at this point, I would love to have that free session with you to connect with you personally so that we get to know each other. We get to really have that one-on-one connection, and that we make sure that this is the right fit for you, because it's so, so important that we make that connection so that you can truly receive the transformation that you're seeking. So I thank you so much. If I'm going to stick around for some Q&A, if you'd like to type some Q&A in the chat and let me know. I'll stick around for a moment. Really, when I started this work 4 years ago, I didn't even do it with a focus on my adoption. It was quite interesting because I just saw it as another layer of personal development and an experience that I was looking for that might help me in my entrepreneurial experience of growing into becoming an entrepreneur and growing my ability to share my message and teaching with the world. And through this experience, I really came to realize that my adoption, this was the message. I thought for a while that it was a different topic and it was a different avenue. And as I've grown through this experience of letting go of pain and letting go of these traumas and experiences and allowing the wisdom to come into my life, that I have really been able to understand that adoption does not have to be your driver any longer. It does not have to be the defining force in your life. You get to take back control. You get to take back your life now as an adult. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Someone says, me too. And it really is amazing when you can let go, when you can create those shifts and allow yourself to become that powerful creator. And when you go on this 12-month journey, it truly becomes the new life that you live. As I said, I've been doing this work for 4 years, and I will continue to do this work the rest of my life. And it's not because I'm broken. It's not because I'm trying to fix myself. It's because it gives me the structure, and it gives me the foundation, and it gives me the pathway to live this beautiful life of being a powerful creator, to create the body that I choose to create the relationships that I desire to have, and to live a life I love every single day, waking up every single day, loving my life, loving myself, loving my family, loving the world. And this is what I want to help you create for yourself. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be doing this every week. So I hope to see you on the next one. And if you just want to come for a little while and come to my free workshops, it's basically going to be the same workshop over and over, but you'll still get the same transformation. And as I start to do this over and over, I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to get, more fluid, and I'll probably change it up a little bit as well as I go along. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate you playing full out. Thank you so, so, so much. And again, even if you're watching on the replay, this is a very powerful experience, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great night. Cheers.